Gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Boys, in this video, we are going to be talking about how to become a master observer. Now, what do I mean by this? Guys, I'm sure in your life of growing up and just hanging around people and seeing people, you've noticed that there's certain people that can always improvise, adapt, and just pick up on skills and learn things so much faster than your average person. And I noticed that for myself, this was always the case from a young age. Like I'd always try to learn something and I could learn it so much quicker than your average person. And what I've done is I've really broken it down for you guys and I've put it into a simple 4-step framework. And that's exactly what I'm going to be getting into. So, guys, as you guys know by now, my name's Brandon. I help young men build personal brands, really monetize their passions through building a social presence, building their online business. If you want to work with me one-on-one, you can apply to do so. First link in the description. So, boys, the first thing we need to understand before anything is why. Like what is a master observer, right? And from my point of view, what I understand is, have you guys always noticed that there's like some dudes that are just calm, that are just always observing, right? Like if you're hanging out, there's always that one guy that's kind of just sitting back and he doesn't talk too much and he just observes. He's like consistently learning, right? So that's the first part. The second thing is, bro, becoming a master observer, it really allows you to see life from a different lens, from a different point of view, because you can read a book, right? And they say there's surface level reading, and then there's deeper levels of reading, and then there's reading in between the lines. And so I really think, bro, like becoming a master observer changes the way that you observe life. Again, see things from a different lens. I mean, look, how do you think I was able to? This is my balcony. Like, I live here. Look at this fucking view. It's because I was able to observe the world from a different point of view, from a deeper understanding. Okay. And so let's get into the framework. Okay. The first step in the framework is slowing things down. Okay. As stupid as that sounds, literally like slow-mo. I want you to think of a camera. Okay. So whenever I was trying to learn something new, I would literally slow-mo it. What do I mean? I mean, if I was trying to learn how to free kick, I played football, soccer my whole life, and I would learn how to bend it like Beckham, right? Basically do a free kick and bend it around the wall into the top corner of the goal or whatever it was, right? And score. And so what I would do is literally slow-mo in my mind how this person was taking the free kick. And this applies to anything in life, whatever skill you're trying to learn. So if this was a free kick, if this was learning how to throw a punch, how to move your head movement, right? Or how to flex in the gym. I do this with literally everything because it's changed my life. And that's literally as simple as it gets. The first step is literally trying to slow things down. Become more calm, okay? The best way for you to think about this is, guys, think of when somebody is chopping food, right? Usually, whenever it is, whatever you're doing, the faster you try to do it, the more likely you are to fuck up, right? Like if you're trying to cut a carrot and you're trying to do it very quickly, you're probably more likely to cut your finger, right? Compared to you doing it slowly. And in you doing it slowly, what happens, you're usually able to have more precise cuts and such. And I'll touch on that at the end of this video. But what I want you to understand from that is slow things down. Okay, so that's literally the first step. The second step, and the second step in the framework is paying attention in great detail. What do I mean? I mean, now that you've slowed things down, okay, now that you've slowed things down in your mind and you're really seeing things slowed, you can now pick up on the details, like the great details, right? So, for example, in the free kick example, I would pay attention to how is this guy standing? How far away from the ball is he? How many steps, right? How are his hands placed? Which side of his body is he leaning on? How does he now approach the ball? How fast does he approach the ball? Where do his hands go? How does he hunch before he kicks the ball? Where does he kick the ball? Where is this foot placement on the ball? Like, where is the ball touching his foot? How does his follow through look like? How much power did he hit the ball? Like all of those things, right? I kind of just went on a rant, but you can understand you're able to pick up on the details. And it's as simple as that. Okay. The other example is in boxing, like I said. I would pay attention to how is somebody throwing a punch? Like literally, where does his hand start from? Where does it end? How does he bring it back? Where is his foot placement at? How does his foot turn when he's throwing a punch? All these things in great detail because now you slowed it down. When you slow-mode something, you can pick up on things in so much greater detail. And so that's the second step. Okay? Now that you understand you got to slow it down, and then after slowing it down, now you can pay attention in greater detail. The third step is implementation, right? Because now that you understand the details, you can now implement in great detail. Because most people will try to do something, but they'll just do it based off of the basic understanding that they have. But now I'm able to implement something with the greater understanding of how it works, right? Because I've paid attention to the details and I've slowed it down. Now I can implement with greater detail. And what does that do? That usually helps you become better at it. Like literally as simple as that, because now you're doing it with greater intention. You're doing it with a greater understanding of how it actually works. And again, you've slowed it down, but you're doing this all in your mind very fast and very quickly and over time, right? Like this was something that came natural to me. But the great thing about this is a skill. And like anything, you can get better at a skill. And then once you get better, it becomes second nature, right? And so I think this just happened to me. I don't know. I just did this from a young age and then eventually like it's second nature, right? So now that you understand that, implementation. The more you practice something, the better you're going to get. What do I mean? Like, bro, a lot of you guys literally will try to do something so quickly that again, you fuck up on the details because you're so worried about just doing it so fucking fast. And there is an element of speed involved here, but I'll get into that. But what you do is when you do something so fast, you try to go from like step 1 to step 5, but you skipped out on step 2, 3, and 4. And guys, when you really look at the world, things are a lot simpler than you think. And what I mean by that is usually the basics are what everything stems from. And a lot of you skip over getting good at the basics because you want to move so quickly. When, like I just said, everything stems from the basics. And usually mastering the basics are the thing that is going to get you the furthest anyway. And that's literally it, okay? When it comes to those three things. Now, that you understand those three things, the fourth thing is, and this is what I realized, is you need to become passionate and obsessed. Because what I noticed for myself is whenever I did these things, the reason I did these things in such great detail and paid attention into so much great detail is because I was a little obsessed. I wanted to learn the ins and outs willingly because I felt like it, because I was interested in it. And so the fourth step in the process, in the framework, is becoming obsessed with something. Guys, anything that I do, I don't know if other people are like this, but it's so weird to me because I literally become obsessed. Like I have to learn everything and everything, what goes into making things work. And in that, again, you will willingly, continuously go into great detail. Like the best example I can give to you is I would, for example, if I was learn how to kick a free kick, right? Or I was getting into boxing or I was learning how to pose, I would watch hours and hours and hours of footage and videos and people in the act of doing it because I was obsessed, right? Like for example, with boxing, when I got into boxing, bro, my whole feed on YouTube was literally training camps, training sessions, boxing matches. I started watching live fights continuously. And the only reason I did that is because I became obsessed, right? And so I would pay attention to how do these people, like, what do their training sessions look like? How are they practicing? Like, what kind of cardio are they doing? How long are they doing cardio? How long are they doing abs? Like, it's crazy. Most boxers do like 1,000 crunches a fucking day, which is insane. And I only know that because I've done all of this fucking footage and all this shit and watching all of this, right? And so that simple 4-step framework I think is literally what has allowed me to become a master observer and become and have the ability to master things so much more, or not master things, but become good at things so much more quickly than your average person does. Because I become obsessed with it and I watch it so much more than somebody does than trying to learn something. And I pay attention to everything and then I mimic it and I implement it. Now, okay, I want to talk real quick about speed, right? Because even though technically, right, you're slowing things down, but you're all doing this in your mind, right? You become very good and efficient and fast at doing this in your mind. You're slowing it down, for example, right? And in this world, we know that money loves speed, success loves speed. The world moves fast. You have to be moving fast. But what I mean when I say slow things down and pay attention in great detail, I mean do it efficiently. And I've talked about this in my other videos where I say I've eliminated, in a sense, the framework of thinking in time, meaning like I won't put a time limit on how long it takes me to get good at something, as long as I just know I'm not wasting time. Okay, that's the biggest thing there. Understanding that yes, you're slowing things down, but you're still doing them efficiently, compared to like learning but wasting fucking time, like not actually learning, like you're kind of just taking your sweet ass time. Like that's the difference there between slowing it down and speed. It's like you're not wasting time. So you're still fast. You're still, again, doing this all in your mind and you're becoming obsessed, but you're doing it efficiently and in speed. And in speed, in momentum, we know that money and success and all these things in the world love speed. And so that's just a big differentiator and a big thing you need to understand the difference between the two in speed and in actually just wasting time because you are taking too much time. But as long as you're not wasting time, you're fine, bro. And again, this touches on to the beginning of the video where I literally talked about a lot of you, what you'll do is you'll try to go so fast where you're skipping the beginning steps and the basics. And then what happens? You usually have to backtrack. You usually have to go back now and do step 2, 3, and 4. And so now you've essentially fucked up and now you're wasting time because you tried to cut the corners and you've tried to fucking speed up the process when in reality you were just fucking yourself over because now you have to go back, right? And that's literally it, boys. Like, I think that's what helps somebody become a master observer because now that you're able to slow things down, now that you're able to have a greater understanding for how they work, and now you're able to implement this greater understanding, you're able to see everything for how it actually is and becoming a master observer, right? Another example I can give to you is, and how this really has, I mean, you do this for everything. I don't want you guys to think about like just, for example, like the free kick or learning how to pose or boxing. Like I literally do this every single day with every single thing that I do, and this is what I need you guys to start doing to see life, to become fucking like this is a huge part in my success, right? And this is why you need to do it. But what this has allowed me to do, for example, the like another little quick example is a lot of these online dudes, right? They're great at marketing, like great at marketing, right? That's why they've seen the success that they have because essentially everything is marketing. But like for example, if you see a dude that has a Lambo that flexes the Lambo, the cash, the houses, all of the things that goes into marketing online essentially, right? In that sense, in like that niche, you see that at surface value, at the forefront. But if you really start to pay attention to some of these dudes in the way they talk, in the way they walk, in the way they actually live, or I don't know, like you just pick up on the small things, you'll be able to realize a lot of these fucking dudes are scammers. And it's simply in adapting that framework of like you paying attention to the back end, like to the details. Like, dude, if this guy really had money, is he doing this? Like, why does he this, right? And like having that kind of that framework. But that's just an example. I'm trying to have you guys understand like how much this can help you in this life, bro. And literally everything that you do, not just the examples I gave you, can be in very simple things. Literally becoming a master observer, right? If I this has helped me with my communication. This has helped me with the way I walk, again, with the way I talk, with the way I do everything. Because now I'm able to observe and pick up on people's mistakes and then not replicate those mistakes. And there's so much to this topic, and I'll get into it in this channel, right? As I post daily and as I get into topics, but hopefully that gives you a greater understanding into becoming a master observer and how I'm personally able to improvise, to adapt, to learn things so quickly and have a greater understanding of how they actually work. So, boys, hopefully you were able to pick up on some way, shape, or form of value from this video. I love you guys as always. Of course, I'm going to plug myself at the end of my video. Gentlemen, if you want to build a personal brand, okay, you're looking for one-on-one mentorship, on guidance, on monetizing your passion, bro. Like literally, I come on here and talk about things I'm passionate about. I love to talk about this shit. I love to help you guys out and make money in that process, obviously. If you want to do the same, understand how this works. I mean, look at this fucking life I live, bro. This is my fucking balcony. I'm sitting here on a cigar on a Thursday night and just chilling. It's a little loud. Hopefully the audio isn't fucked in this video because the city's loud, bro. I live on the most popular street in my city, in my state. Maybe you can see, I'm not too sure. The capital of my fucking city is right there. I see it from my living room. So if you want to do that, work with me one-on-one. Have this level of guidance, bro. I actually give a fuck about you guys. You can apply to do so below. I have a free community, a free brotherhood as well, where I'm consistently going to be pouring knowledge into there, and just again continuously putting value for free in like the different sections and classrooms. And I go live on there as well. It's literally, it's free, but it's $1, so we don't have any spammers and scammers and all that stuff. And just build a good brotherhood. It's also going to be in the description. But with that being said, boys, I fucking love you guys as always. I will see you in the next video, and get to fucking work, boys.